Hey guys, welcome back to another build video. So in this video I'm going to be showing you a Heartbreaker build that uses Ridgeway's Pride, which can have some pretty crazy healing ability. It's going to be a run and gun beast which will allow you to get close to the enemy so you can get the most out of the healing from Ridgeway's Pride. So with that, let's take a look at this build. Alright, so for this build I'm using 4 pieces of Heartbreaker, 1 piece of Bellstone, and Ridgeway's Pride. So first let's look at the Heartbreaker stuff. So Heartbreaker is going to give assault rifle damage, LMG damage, weapon handling, and the 4-piece bonus is Heartstopper. So headshots apply pulse for 5 seconds, which I'm going to be using the linked laser pointer, so this part doesn't matter. And then basically you're going to get up to 50% bonus armor and 55% weapon damage at a max of 50 stacks. And then mine has armor, crit damage, and I have a crit damage mod on here. For the gloves, I have armor, crit damage, knee pads, armor, crit chance, and the holster, armor, crit chance. For the backpack, I'm using the Liquid Engineer. This is going to be 1 piece of Bellstone. This gives 1% armor regen. This has armor, crit chance, crit damage, and I have a crit chance mod on here. This has the talent Perfect Bloodsucker. So killing an enemy adds a stack of 12% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Max stacks is 10. So the Liquid Engineer is a DZ item, so you have to get this in either the Dark Zone or a named cache. And just FYI, I hardly ever go in the Dark Zone, so anything you see on my channel that's a Dark Zone item, 99% chance I got it from a named cache. But if you don't have this item, what I would recommend is just putting regular Bloodsucker on a piece of regular Bellstone. You're going to get the 1% armor regen, and this is going to be 10% instead of 12%. And then if you think you feel like you have enough bonus armor because of Heartbreaker, you can always roll Wicked for some weapon damage or Unstoppable Force for weapon damage. And the last piece is Ridgeway's Pride. And you get this by playing the summit and collecting a few parts. I believe there's 5 parts, and each of the 5 parts specifically drop in the summit cache on floor 1 through 19, 20 through 39, 40 through 59, and so on. You then need to donate a few items, do a couple objectives, and then you'll get Ridgeway's Pride. So this has weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and I put a crit damage mod on here. This has the talent Bleeding Edge. So shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target, and then repair between 3 and 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. So down here you can see one enemy is 3% all the way up to 5 enemies, which is 48%. And just to give you an idea of the healing, even if the only bleeding enemy is the one you're shooting at right in front of you, you're getting 3%, which is the same as what the Memento backpack gives you. So it's hard to show in the firing range because the targets don't get that close to you, but I had Hunter's Fury on a second ago, so you can see there's currently 3 enemies within 15 meters of me. And I put Creeping Death on my backpack just for this demonstration. So if we look at Ridgeway's Pride, 3 enemies is 12%, which is only a quarter of what it's capable of. So if we apply bleed to these 3 enemies, you can see how fast my armor regenerates. So most likely where you'd find yourself in range of this many enemies is if you spawn trap them in a door, and you hit them all with bleed and you'll regenerate like crazy. Then for the skills, I'm using the Reviver Hive and the Fixer Drone. Reviver Hive just for the second chance in case it go down, and the Fixer Drone for more healing. So the Fixer Drone is going to be tier 1. This is going to give 25,800 healing, and this has 12 expertise in it. This is going to boost my duration just a little bit. I have a duration mod, health, and damage reduction mod. For the weapon, you can use whatever you want as long as it has a long underbarrel rail, so you can use the linked laser pointer. So there's a few LMGs you can use, and most ARs have a long underbarrel. So you can use an AR if you want to play with a Crusader shield, but I personally go with an LMG for the 100 round mag because with the way Ridgeway's Pride works, it allows me to do a little bit more spray and pray without having to reload as often. So I'm using the Carnage LMG. Mine has 25 expertise in here. This has LMG damage, damage targets out of cover, and then I rolled crit chance here. And this has the talent Perfect Sadist. So this amplifies weapon damage by 35% to bleeding enemies. And because of Ridgeway's Pride, every enemy that you shoot at within 15 meters is going to be bleeding. And then if you choose to use a different weapon, you can roll the regular version of Sadist here, and this is going to give you amplified weapon damage of 30% to bleeding enemies instead of 35%. Then for the mods, I have crit chance, reload speed, and then right here you want to have linked laser pointer. This is what's going to be pulsing enemies. And then I have stability. Then for the secondary, I'm using a Lexington. I don't switch to this too often, but I do occasionally, and that is for the talent Vindictive on here. So killing an enemy with a status effect applied grants you and all allies within 15 meters 16% crit chance and 16% crit damage for 20 seconds. So any enemy you shoot within 15 meters is going to have bleed, so if you want to swap to this, this will be a nice damage boost. But just make sure you have the linked laser pointer on your secondary as well if you're going to use it. So this is how I would run it, just doing random activities or missions. But one thing you could also do is if you're doing something like control points where there's lots of elites, you can run all protection from elites mods, and that'll make you super tanky and allow you to regen even better. So that's another option. Then if we take a look at the stats, I have 53.1% crit chance, 114.1% crit damage, 1.66 million armor, 0 armor on kill, 16,600 armor regen, and then 25,800 from the drone. Then last is the specialization. I'm using Technician. This is going to give +1 skill tier. This is going to boost the healing of the drone a little bit, but mainly you're going to use Technician for this linked laser pointer. And it's right here, and it's locked behind the rifle. And then make sure whatever guns you're using, have them selected here for an extra 15% weapon damage. So that's the build, guys. Try it out, let me know what you think. I know this build can be a little situational to get the most out of it, but when you can get that healing, it's pretty fun. So I'll leave you with a little bit of gameplay. This is the version with 3 protection from elites mods. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Reinforcements en route.
Seek it.